Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 3 World Championship. It's time for our first match of the day as Europe's Gambit take on Fnatic, the EU LCS champions. And with one more win, Expeke and his teammates will earn a spot in those coveted quarterfinals. And coming into this match, Fnatic has been feeling very good about their chances. Not to mention the fact they've beat Gambit the last 5 times that they've played.
Yeah, they should be feeling good. Fnatic slaughtered Gambit in their first meeting here at Worlds. Gambit tried to go Season 2 on the game and failed. They brought out that Shyvana that Darian was known for, but you know, Fnatic's AD carry Pushu was a monster in that game. His 11 kills nearly tripled Gambit's whole team. Pushu has stepped his game up here at Worlds amidst all the talk of Reckless replacing him. He's playing like a man that really wants to save his job and impress a future team, maybe.
Well, whilst Pushu and the rest of Fnatic are ready to put that pressure on Gambit once again and earn that spot in the quarterfinals, this time they might feel a little bit bad if they beat their European brethren.
I feel like they were starting sloppy, but they are increasing really hard at the moment. They are really death machine. I think we should play better strategically and play better mechanically and play better overall.
They are going to be thinking every possible situation, and I think they are going to be super scared going into that game because it means a lot for them. It means everything pretty much. Winning this game will secure their spot.
If we beat Fnatic, it's almost certain that we're in. This time we're gonna prepare more than we usually do against Fnatic because we can't afford to lose this match.
It's always important for us to win because when I lose I feel a bit ashamed. We really as a team don't like this feeling, so we'll make sure not to lose any game.
When we are at Europe, it's like kinda like if you are with your brother. You mess with each other, you fight each other a lot, but you don't like someone messing with your brother. I don't want Gambit to beat us, but I still prefer them to win every other game.
Some interesting thoughts there. And well, these two teams have a close relationship, but it's definitely Fnatic who have the better of it.
And they're thinking as Fnatic as the death machine now. That's scary.
The death machine. And Alex, you know, we broke that whole thing down there. Like, we have to play better mechanically, strategically. Oh, and just overall, if we're going to win this game. So let's have a look at the starting lineups then. Starting off with the blue side this time around will be Gambit. They are, of course, Darian in the top lane, Diamond in the jungle, Alexic in the mid lane, Genja the AD carry, and Voidal the support.
And in the red, it's Fnatic. Up top is Soaz. In the jungle is Cyanide. At mid is Expeke. Pushu is the AD, and Yellow Star is the support.
So let's have a look then towards champion select from this one, because there are a lot of champions that cross over, the likes of Orianna and Arya, 2 hotly contested picks between Alex and Expeke.
Yeah, the mid matchup here is really, really intimidating. Gonna have to see what kind of assassins get through there. Meanwhile, Aatrox, I think, will be make a showing here, either in bans or picks. Whenever you're going up against Gambit, the revive passives are highly prized.
Well, we are going to jump in then. We'll see exactly where the bans fall and where the picks come in from this one. Obviously, Gambit on the blue side, so they get first ban this time around, and the first one coming out there will be Elise. Zed then banned by Fnatic.
The #1 assassin, pretty much. He was let through actually a lot yesterday, which is pretty interesting. You know, SKT coming up with that Riven mid to sort of soft counter him. It didn't really have the biggest impact late game, though, so they're just going to go a safe route, ban out the Zed, also take along that Ahri with them.
Yeah, the Shen taken out there. Aatrox we expected. We said it before that he's been played a lot, whether that's in the top lane or in the jungle for Gambit, and also in the jungle for Fnatic as well. So he's not going to feature in this one. Final ban here for Fnatic, though. Where do they go with this one? The likes of Evelyn, it's something that Diamond certainly isn't scared of bringing out there in the jungle. Lee Sin is another champion that Cyanide's been playing a lot of recently. Diamond as well, but they've got rid of Corki.
Yeah, I mean, Kreppel brought it up, I think, talking about the Evelyn. Gonna ban it out unless you have a plan for it. which is basically the plan is pink ward behind you and on your flanks. But it looks like Fnatic leaving the Evelynn up, so they may be trying to bait Diamond into taking that one. So far, though, you're right, the Orianna, it's been really big for Alex in the past, and it does leave the rest of their picks wide open because she works with a lot of different styles.
So what are Fnatic going to answer with here? That Evelynn is still not really a champion that we see too much from Cyanide. Lee Sin, though, I think may feature here in this Fnatic lineup. If you look down what Cyanide's played so far, Elise, Aatrox, which covers, by the way, every game but one that he's played with Lee Sin, so yeah.
Yeah, probably either Lee Sin or Jarvan. That combo's pretty good. You've done your work, Joe. Good job. The Aatrox, I think that, you know, it's only banned by European teams so far because he's really big over there, but not a lot of other regions besides China have really bought into that. I'm a believer, though. I love the jungle Aatrox.
Love a bit of Aatrox. So the other pick for Fnatic here was Zyra. Actually, Yellowstar played it in both of their last games. Both of them were wins. 100% record for him on that.
Always nice to pick up that 100%. She's a very highly prized first pick as well among the supports here at Worlds, just because her immense counter engage. She's also a very big presence at level 1, which we haven't talked about recently, because she can snare multiple people. So the level 1 plays between these two. They actually got the combo, the Ashe Zyra, that's been so good for this Fnatic team.
Yeah, and they start to run that in the playoffs as well. We also saw the Fizz coming in for Peke. First time that he's going to make an appearance this time around for Peke. Funnily enough, we had no Kassadin ban in this one, which is something that Peke certainly loves to play. Deciding to go, though, for the Fizz. Going back to Gambit here for a second, they picked up Varus and Sona, and that Varus for Genja has been a big champion for him throughout the spring and summer split.
Oh yeah, Gambit have locked in so much crowd control with their first 3 picks here. They've got plenty of team fighting already, so they'll probably want to supplement that with someone who's strong at dueling, somebody who's going to be able to deal with maybe a Fizz 1 versus 1 here.
Well, we see the jungle pick left till last. What is Diamond gonna burst out this time around? The Renekton was locked in, and it will be a Vi here. And talk about dueling potential, Vi fits that role.
So Vi picking Vi into Fizz is pretty interesting because Fizz can just hop up on his pole and negate Vi's ultimate. So, you know, the combo we always talk about is Vi going mid for the level 6 guaranteed kill. That's not even close to guaranteed against the Fizz because he can get out of that gank pretty easily. I do like the combo, though. If you just look at Fnatic's team by themselves, Vi and Orianna is a very strong combo. The only thing that Vi really has to worry about in the end game is how squishy she is if she hasn't been able to build up enough. Orianna definitely helps out with that, with the shield, with the resistances that she gives, and the secondary crowd control with the shockwave that will come in on top of her.
Final pick for Fnatic as well, going into the top lane, a Zac for Soaz. Champion which again has caused a few headaches for Gambit in the past.
I mean, this is really a classic Fnatic lineup. The only difference here and earlier in Worlds is that they were using Ahri much more because it was available to them. Basically, they've just switched out Fizz for Ahri. They have amazing tower defense to let Peke go split push, and then they have an engage for when they want to turn it around. Crystal Arrow into a Zac Elastic Slingshot. They can start a fight whenever they want to.
Scary times maybe here for Gambit on the horizon. But while we're waiting for the players to load into the game, let's take a look at who you guys at home think are going to win this one. And I can tell you, it's a close one. According to lolesports.com, 56% of you think that Fnatic will make it 6 wins in a row against Gambit. Our analysts all thought the same as well.
I'm happy that it's this close because I think this game is going to be well fought here by both teams. They actually are starting out with pretty much compositions that you thought you would see from both of these teams. This is very characteristic of Fnatic as well as coming from Gambit here.
So we should also not forget the fact that Gambit is a team that turns up on the biggest occasions, and this would certainly be the time to do it here at Worlds. But we are in game, Gambit versus Fnatic. Let's see how things are going to go down. We talked earlier about that Zyra and the danger that she really poses at level 1.
Right, it's very, very scary for Gambit to go face-checking bushes right now. So they'll probably just start out really defensively here. if you ever are going to walk into a Zyra Ashe level 1, it's one of the most scary combos because Ashe has her guaranteed crit, and Zyra will lock you guys down.
So, right now the setup pretty even on both sides. A kind of line defense setup across the map on either side of the river, top and bottom. You see there Darian hiding inside of that brush. His opposite number, Soaz, actually on that top side as well. But with a game of this magnitude, you know, this is the deal for Fnatic. If they pick up this win, they are through no matter what in that first position. So, question is, can Gambit turn it on? Because they're in danger of actually ending up in a tiebreaker here later on against Ozone. So, very, very important game from both sides, and you can almost feel that tension here at level 1.
If Gambit are able to turn it on, it's going to look like a bunch of team fights. They've definitely got, they're going to be looking for these team fights around Dragon, areas like this where they can make use of all this area of effect crowd control, whereas Fnatic, true to form, they're going to be looking to split push and pick people off with the crystal arrows and the Fizz damage later once he does get a Sheen into Lichbane. So it's all about map control here for Fnatic, whereas Gambit are going for the large team fights.
Well, it looks like the lanes going to be matched up in traditional style with the Zac versus Renekton on that top side, the duo lanes in the bottom. We can see both junglers starting on the top side of the map here. Cyanide using that smite earlier on, as has Diamond, to get rid of his blue buff as well.
Both junglers starting at the top side, so that means both of them are going to end their routes down bottom. And usually when the junglers end their routes near the duo lanes, they don't go for the early ganks because those are the lanes with the most wards, and most junglers have sort of trained themselves just not to go use time down there very early. They'll probably continue jungling or make their visits mid.
So Cyanide gonna finish off this blue. Diamond did the wolf camp actually before he came down onto this bottom side, so he's gonna be pushing down there a little bit later, and we'll see where they make their mark on the map.
Yeah, the reason Diamond used his smite early on this blue is because he's just going for that very quick jungle farm. You notice usually people will go from buff to other buff. That's what Cyanide did. But Diamond, having used his smite, just started clearing out the small camps already. So he is slightly ahead of Cyanide right now in terms of jungle speed.
On this bottom lane. Could be an explosive one with those grasping roots in there. Voidal obviously going to become a lot more dangerous a little bit later on in the game once he gets up towards that level 6 area. This mid lane, Alex on Orianna versus Peke on Fizz.
Right now, since Fizz is pushing his turret 2, there's definitely going to be no ganks here in the mid lane from Diamond. He is just going for the power clear. So he'll probably come out of the jungle here around level 5 when he does go for his first gank. And it's actually very hard, all of these lanes, because of the Zyra counter-initiate. Peke, it's really dangerous to go for those CS. And as Fizz, you do get poked down very early, so you have to balance that risk versus reward.
A lot of risk from Peke.
A lot of risk, one
risk.
Minion reward.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how that balance all works out in the end, but he's still alive and he didn't lose too much health from it, so we'll let that one slide. Right now, Cyanide actually hanging around here by that middle area. You saw there on the minimap that Diamond is actually headed off home, so he's not going to be in the immediate area in terms of any kind of counter gank. Peke pushing out here though from the turret.
And there are no wards up here for Gambit besides that bottom lane. So Diamond, with his first recall and his hard clear that he did of the jungle, has gotten 2 different wards here, a pink and a green. He'll probably be going to ward up Alex's lane, since Alex is winning his lane right now so easily, and they don't want to let up pressure on Fizz early when Fizz is the weakest. He's going to ward for Alex so that Alex doesn't have to leave his lane at all.
So Cyanide, after hanging around that mid area, did get back off into his jungle and get back onto his farming routes. Alex doing a great job here, more than double the CS right now of Alex. There is Diamond actually pushing up through the Fnatic jungle. Got Cyanide in his sights and he's going to move in there with that Vault Breaker. Actually, the Q will land and Cyanide going aggressive on him here. And just a little bit of a tussle, not really too much damage done. A bit of a power struggle.
Good dodge there for a blind man. And Alex definitely on his last couple CS here. He's run out of potions. His crystalline flask is empty. The next chunk of harass that he actually takes from a command attack and shot and dissonance means that he'll probably have to back off after that.
There's a top lane match. Zac versus Renekton, a familiar matchup as Ignite goes down there onto Peke. Not got enough damage to finish him off, but as you said, running out of potions and that crystalline flask is empty, he's got to back off.
Yeah, did I say Alex? I meant Peke. Yeah, Peke going to have to recall now, and that means that Cyanide will have to show in lane. So whenever the jungle does show in lane, your opponent's going to take advantage of you. Diamond's already one up on him, taking out one camp.
So back off for the first time here from Alex Ich. What's he going to come back into that lane with? The Chalice picked up there for Orianna, and boots and wards and more potions as well from that one. So that's a nice shopping trip back home for him.
Yeah, he does not want to have to leave this lane early because Fizz, once he does get that Sheen and into the Lichbane, then he really starts to become a menace. So they want to delay Fizz's items as long as possible. And you do that by having Alex harass him down with Orianna. I really did like also Diamond's placements of the wards. You place one mid so that Alex could just hug that bottom side, and then you use the other as a pink inside the jungle of Fnatic.
And we just saw Darian actually popping his ultimate there just to put down some more damage onto Soaz. And honestly, this top lane, especially the caliber of the players themselves as well, I don't expect any kills coming down without some interference there from either Diamond or Cyanide. And Renekton versus Zac, pretty much a face bashing lane for a long time.
Yeah, the top lane's pretty classic. Everyone talks about it being an island. It's a dangerous island to be on because they are just smashing their faces against each other. Now they're going to go back for their first buys though. Renekton getting more tanky means it's just going to be more head bashing.
Actually, Peke had a good amount of time here in this mid lane to farm his way closer at least. He's still more than double CS behind Alex at this point, who's just gone back there to pick off that blue buff. And with that chalice in there as well, he's not going to have any problems with mana for a while now.
And Alex, after going back for that pink ward, he's actually used his pink ward in the jungle up there on the other side of the lizard buff to protect Diamond from any sort of counter jungling from Cyanide. So he's paid Diamond back for the early warding that Diamond got for him. Diamond has been very outspoken. He's one that hates any sort of vision inside of his jungle. If there are any wards inside his jungle, he'll call for his team to grab pinks and clear it out immediately because he doesn't want anyone to know about the secret operations he performs in there.
Well, right now that secret operation is taking his red buff. And we can see that pink actually on top of the red. I'm not sure if it's just slightly around the corner there or whether Diamond's playing this really smart. Knowing that that ward's there, he can almost bait Fnatic with that use.
It's almost even better if you have knowledge of the other team's vision so that you can use that against them. So much of jungling is mind games and playing off of your opponent's knowledge and how much you are aware of their movements, so they can actually try and make use of that as some sort of bait.
No, this top lane, not the most thrilling to watch, that's for sure. We see that that ward has allowed Diamond to go through, but he's going to reveal himself here. Gone straight through while the minions were there anyway. Was a pink ward in that, but what are they going to make the play from here?
Yeah, usually we talk about Vi hitting level 6, guaranteed gank. But look at the team that he's trying to gank. It's a duo lane of Ashe Zyra, which is amazing counter engage, and then Fizz is at middle, who can negate her ultimate. Up top, there's Soaz, who has a revive passive. So instead, they just go straight for the dragon, get the global gold, and don't waste his time ganking a lane.
So ward's put down. Cyanide going to be hanging off to the side from this one. We've seen him steal before, but not today. Diamond going to pick that one up, and that's the first major arrow in this game. There's a flash away from Boydell. The arrow just flying on by. Alex was trying to keep Fizz there in that mid lane and away from any trouble. Yellow Star here is going to manage to lock up Genja. Stranglethorn flashed away from there by Genja. And there's a flash in actually from Pushu, which not going to get him anything.
Those were both necessary flashes. Those would have turned into first bloods. That means the duo lane here for Gambit going to have to watch out. They're going to have to ward very heavily. It's a good thing they already have a ward very deep in Fnatic's jungle because Lee Sin is an amazing jungler at coming at you from different angles. He can actually even come straight through the lane. So even if the bottom lane here has good wards around them, they're going to have to play a little bit more defensively now.
Now this top side has not had a jungler up there yet. We're 10.5 minutes into this one, and they've just been left to their own devices. Currently it is Darian that has the advantage over Soaz. Let's call it 100 CS to 80 right now. There's once again that wave getting pushed off towards the turret. Seen a couple of them starting to come back in lane, and look at the AD carries here, because Genja actually picking up that Phage here first of all. Now he's been quite happy to go Triforce with champions, which we're not usually used to seeing the Triforce on.
He said that he will go Triforce on every single AD right now, though. So he's very, very big proponent of using that item, and we'll have to say if he actually stays true to his word and does go Triforce on Varus. It actually doesn't build into anything else now, so he's pretty much locked into that. Frozen Mallet item build was changed. No longer Phage necessary.
So, Kobe, do we think it's better than the tier on Varus?
I'd say it's a step up, but just because of the extra mobility that he does get when killing creeps.
Look at this, Fnatic actually walking down towards that bottom side there. Both Lucian and Fizz making their way, and a lot of pings going down, and in the end they decide not to go for that one. We're at 12 minutes into this game. No first blood to be seen just yet.
And about that junglers, you know, not going top lane, I guess, for any sort of action up there. One of the biggest parts of jungling is also not getting yourself into a pattern and not being predictable. If you do the same thing multiple games over, then the good junglers will scout you, and they will predict your movements, and they will come for counter ganks, just like the ones that we're setting up here. So it's especially something that I've seen Loveland really excel at. Probably my favorite jungler of the tournament so far. He has not done the same thing multiple times. There's the arrow initiate!
Oh, this is bad news. First blood coming down there to push you, and it happens so incredibly quickly. Meanwhile, Peke here onto Alex in that mid lane. Command Protect comes down, but Peke's going for this one. He's going to flash in. Shockwave comes down, but Peke will pick up the kill. Tower's not going to be enough to get that one back. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Diamond in trouble. He goes very, very low from that one as well, and all close stuff, but that immediate explosion of Voidal there. They were stood in the brush as human was to see that one coming, but the arrow's faster.
We talked about the bottom lane having to play defensively even if they have wards, and they didn't right there. This one was just an outplay in mid. Beautiful job here by Peke. He continues to chase under the turret. The damage over time actually gets turret aggro onto him, and then saving his playful trickster for the shockwave to jump right over it.
So incredibly well done there by Xpeke. And so look where that actually leaves us in the grand scheme of things here. 2-0 in kills for Fnatic, but still behind here on gold technically. That Dragon obviously going overall to Gambit earlier on, and also ahead nicely in the CS on all fronts actually.
Yeah, Gambit, even after losing those 2 kills, Gambit's got a very substantial gold lead here. I mean, it's basically the Fizz versus Orion matchup that's going the way that it's expected to. Fizz loses very hard in CS, and then comes out with the first kill just because he has that kill potential. Like I talked about that Sheen, he's also rushed short boots, so it's an even earlier extra damage there for him.
And his bottom lane, Genja, did come back after seeing his support die a little bit earlier on. The second blue buffs of the game, or third blue buffs I guess we can say, technically going over to the mid laners here once again. Right now though, Soaz is moving down.
He's getting into position here, and it's because they have the flash already blown for Alex that Soaz is very confident making this roam.
Oh, there's the drop in. Oh, this is bad news again for Alex. The ulti coming down, he will shockwave, but it's not going to save him. Let's bounce was going on there by Soaz as well, and Fnatic executing absolutely perfectly once again.
Yep, good call because of the no flash there, making Alex pay once again. But a huge creep wave, full creep wave was lost for Soaz up in that top lane. Darian did at least shove that wave into the turret before he roamed down, so they were making Fnatic pay a little bit.
Oh, arrow coming out again here on towards Voidal. Yellow Star through his full combo out there. Trying to hook him up with the grasping roots and then throw the Strangle Thorns down on top. Voidal, though, using his flash pretty much instantly as it came on cooldown.
And that gank was a little bit early here. If they had waited, 15 seconds or so, then a dragon would be spawned. and they could turn that large chunk of damage into something else. But because it's going to be another few seconds, Fnatic happy to wait on their cooldowns again. The Ashe Zyra combo of the ultis is very, very important for the Fnatic Dragon fight.
Look at the damage there coming out from Peke on towards that top outer turret. Still no turret's gone down while we're on that front. Peke diving in towards Alex again. Has that Chum the Waters up and available for himself. He's now got that Faith bashing lane moving over towards the middle as Orianna and Fizz did a little bit of battle at the top. But, you know, despite the fact that Alex is obviously ahead in CS there, that's really the only thing going in his favor at this stage.
They're happy with the CS leads though, because money that you earn from CS is a lot safer than money that you earn from killing people, because if Fnatic rack up multiple kills, if there's one more kill on Peke, oh, here we go, Alex taking hits.
Yeah, once again knocked up in the air there by Chum the Waters, and Peke picks up kill number 3 on towards Alex. Meanwhile, down in the Dragon area, we did see the Dragon picked up by Fnatic. There's Let's Bounce coming in by Soaz. Darian trying to get away, will flash over. Soaz going to follow him, but he's now in front of 3 men. Crescendo will lock him up. There's Cell Division going to be popped, but can they finish him off? No, they can't. Arrow coming in from Pushu. There is Assault and Battery, plus the ulti out of Genja. They're going to know. Cyanide flashing away. Soaz dives back in. Flash away on the bottom side from Diamond. Chaos!
Pushu was thinking about flashing over for about 20 seconds there. He was sitting in the back of the Dragon, did not want to come over to join the fight. Then finally does, and his target disappears.
Crazy, crazy stuff there down by Dragon, but crazy stuff that's working out so well for Fnatic. They took down the Dragon. They made it 5 kills now. They take the upper outer turret, the top lane outer turret, and the bottom lane outer turret in one swift sweep.
Right, that top turret, I was just talking about the kill bounties racking up for Fnatic, and Peke does get his 3rd kill. So for Gambit, they're at least looking to get a little bit of extra gold if they're actually ever able to take down Peke. He's now got a bounty on his head.
So let's have a look down some of the items that are now finished after that. You can see that Fnatic gaining themselves finally that gold lead back. Lichbane, he's done Peke throwing his ulti out here again, and feels like Chum the Waters not really been on cooldown.
There's an interesting thing with Chum the Waters that you can actually throw it much shorter. It's not, it won't go the full line of the skill shot, and he just flubbed it on the ground right there.
Well, I give him that because that's the first one out of, well, that was his 4th.
He does have 3 kills.
And he's got the 3 kills to show for it with that Lich Bane now finished off. The 2 AD carries will look at Pushu here. Got that Infinity Edge now done. Other side, BF Sword added in for Genja.
Genja with the BF Sword after that phage. I guess he's not going with the Trinity Force. Just wanted the extra move speed from the phage, and now he's going to go with a more standard build from Varus. Either that or he's just delaying his Trinity Force a very, very long time.
Well, Fnatic right now are trying to get a hold of Gambit's jungle. That blue buff is up and available. We can see that Gambit moving around as a team as Voidal. Going to take a lot of damage here from Zyra. There is Soaz. He's going to dive into the middle of them. Where is Let's Bounce? He's got it available, but decided here to probably back away. There are more Gambit members there than I think they expected here, Fnatic. Darian did use that Dominus, and that will force Fnatic at least away for now.
I want to see Fnatic call for a cross-court arrow, but he just used it bottom in the duel with Genja.
Yeah, and it is a duel where Genja's going to flash in. Oh, he got the kill. He will go down anyway. And that just fits the theme of this game. Chaotic and crazy.
Genja, I mean, everyone always talks about how passive of an AD Genja is. Here we go, Soaz initiates.
Oh, there's a brilliant shockwave. Crescendo follows on. Stranglethorn's coming in. Cyanide trying to walk away as he kicks Diamond off, but Peke is chasing down Alex somehow, getting behind his turret, but he'll get the kill there. Peke falling low, but he's looking for another one here. Voidal falls as well. There is the shutdown, but Peke under pressure gets the double. Meanwhile, blue buff had been started off. Yellow Star now has to back away. They've got Diamond here chasing in as well. They'll be happy though to sew up the control of the blue, which might not be quite as controlled as they think. Soaz is waiting.
Oh, Soaz is going to come in for this one. Darian's right behind him. Darian also just got the shutdown gold on Peke. So Darian just got a huge amount of money in all of this scramble down here. He's going to be a very tanky Renekton.
Well, let's have a look at that messy fight again by the blue bull.
Okay, so this was a good shockwave into crescendo, but Peke was not hit by any of this CC. He gets around behind, and because Yellow Star was able to knock up 3 people with his Zyra ultimate, it gave Peke the time he needed to not only kill Alex, but also get enough damage down onto Voidal. The dot from his auto attack going to finish him off.
Game over there for Voidal for a second time in this game. If we look at Alex, definitely not having the best game of his life at this point. Still holds a 40 CS lead, but is now 0-4-1 there. We can see the gold difference between the two. I don't want to say too massive at this point, but at the same time, we're only 20 minutes into the game, and he's already slipping quite far behind.
The scariest point of any Fizz is when he gets not only the Lich Bane, but also the Zhonya's Hourglass after that, because then he has the burst potential to assassinate someone because of Lich Bane. Plus, he can get another round of abilities off when he comes out of his Hourglass, so he becomes very frustrating to fight because he has 2 different abilities that make him untargetable, and he can escape after he kills you.
And Genja doesn't want to be the one to probably go up against him at this point of things. We saw him now finishing off that Bloodthirster. As we mentioned, went for the Phage first, then off towards that Bloodthirster. Second of all, seen another couple of items being picked up. Both top laners got that Sunfire Cape in. We see the Spirit Visage for Darian on the other side, so as working exactly the same route.
Yeah, Genja definitely doesn't want to fight Peke, especially having blown his summoners in that 1v1 battle with Pushu down bottom. The Phage is going to give him a lot of extra movement speed that he'll try and use to kite Fizz. Cheeky little steal there from Peke.
That's the problem with the Fizz, right? He comes in, you think, okay, look, he's totally out of position. Let's get him. Oh, we can't actually do anything to him at that point. Peke getting away with completely full health remaining. Right now, they're moving on towards inner turrets here. Of course, all 3 outers already down for Fnatic. We can see them working away slowly but surely on this inner turret, which is going to move from slowly and surely to just surely here in just a second, with all 5 men from Fnatic there for the pickup.
Gambit are closing in, though, and we do have Vi flanking on the outside. If Vi can get her Assault and Battery onto Pushu with Alex's ball on top of him, that would be the ideal situation to start this off, because he's not looking to ulti Peke. We've already been